We're fortunate this morning to have Michelle Hitchcock from Cahuilla learning about some of the cultural history of the area. This will be a comfortable walk.
Enjoy the hike today, and you would like to hear a little more. We're doing a class through the city of La Quinta at the La Quinta Museum. That is actually a 2-meeting class, so it's 6 hours total.
I didn't point out there's a creosote here. There's one over here. I actually walked right by this one. A little bit of creosote. And these are probably here naturally. I'm sure you guys eat. These, if you look at older pictures of anywhere in the valley, you just see creosote, scrub flat everywhere. It's actually kind of a describer of an environment, creosote scrub, and it is, so to speak, on there. There's a reptile out here that has the same pattern on its tail, and lots of reptiles were a great source of food and protein for the Cahuilla. So if you're in moisture climates that get a lot more rainfall, eating reptiles becomes very taboo because there's plenty of other resources out there, so they kind of look down upon reptiles. Out here in the drier, as you move into drier and drier regions where there's less and less rainfall, the taboos against eating reptiles completely disappear, which just makes perfect sense. So they were expert rattlesnake catchers and preparers, so I haven't tried that either. I try the things I'm talking about, but I haven't tried that one. I was going to say,
and then these palo verdes, there's a couple different species of palo verde. The little leaf palo verde is a common ornamental landscaping one, and then there's the blue palo verde out here, which is blue. I did grow up here in La Quinta for part of that. And I've always, as long as I can remember, I've always been fascinated by certain just rocks and shapes of the mountains that would just catch your eye. And I think that's just human nature. And I was always intrigued by the fact that I possibly could be captivated by the same boulder or coloration on a rock that another Cahuilla kid was 500 years ago. Because their place names of all their things, as you start looking through the literature and going through resources, all their place names are just completely descriptive of the environment. So people, they can describe an area to you, and you can go right back and find the exact same spot because of the detailed description. So, you've heard of 2-bunch palms. Okay, we're familiar with that. Desert hot springs. We kind of do it today. If you see a rock up there that's, leaning like a barrel cactus, that might be the name of that particular rock on that particular point. It will have a long place name like that. And so they're very descriptive. That Cahuilla landscape one is a great resource to see all the different place names on them. And some are kind of funny. Some explain a little bit of history. Some make no sense at all. But you have to remember that the landscape is also changing over these hundreds of years. Water sources shift with the earth movement. So what once was a, 3 palms standing by rock could be gone because the water has shifted, and it's now looks entirely different. But it's just kind of a neat thing to think of. You guys, if you're living out here in the Cove, you have a huge canvas of inspiration to come up with names that probably would end up being similar to ancient Cahuilla place names as you start looking through the books. You might even recognize some of the places that they were describing. For the Cahuilla, this is the catclaw acacia, and it just has once you start seeing the two more frequently, it just has a more compact appearance to me. And if you're not sure, you can go up and look at these little thorns. They're shaped just like cat's claws. It's also called the wait a minute bush because it very easily grabs you. And tear blanket was another common name. You see how it just grabbed my arm, and when it grabs you, wait a minute, and you try to get it off you. So push right there, and you'll definitely get a nice smell. Yeah. You squish it won't stay with you for too long. It washes off pretty well. Coyote actually was a cultural hero of the Cahuilla, and you're not going to eat your cultural heroes in any way. Every now and then, coyote, fox, coyote and fox pelts were acquired for ceremonial objects and purposes, but definitely not a food source. because it played such an important role in their cultural history and stories and cosmology. So, and things like mountain lion, bear, which we don't have any bear right now. I'm trying to make it come back. Grizzly bear at the time. Those animals are very, very, very dangerous animals to hunt, and were not hunted. They were also revered and held sacred, probably because they're so dangerous to hunt. If a hunter encountered one of those animals, say a hunter was up in the mountains and encountered a bear, they would have to talk with the bear, because it was also thought that these could be transformed shaman that were transformed into the animal representation of their beings, and you certainly don't want to hunt a shaman. So they would have to communicate with that animal verbally. Please, I'm not here to hurt you. Please go on your way. I don't want to have to defend myself. And it attracts and keeps the native wildlife cycles going in a healthy way. This is really pretty. It's called indigo bush, and it's another pea family. So it has this really pretty little pea-shaped flower with the bright indigo color, like the smoke tree flower. And there's one at the top of the cove that was actually part of its botanical name, but it's one of those botanical names that caught on. So it gets interchanged with its common name a lot. And this was a source of medicine. The stems of this, if you get up close on it, I'm going to see if I can even find any. The stems will typically, some rabbits have been chewing on it. The stems will exude this resin. It's like an amber color. It starts off kind of a yellow-green, and then as it dries, and sometimes you see piles of it on the ground, which is a score. It turns this really dark orange, the amber color. And that was collected and chewed like chewing gum to help relieve thirst by the Cahuilla. It was also used, the leaves were used to, you can either chew them or make a tea or like a gargling solution out of it to help with mouth pain of any kind, tooth or sores and things like that. I tried that gum and it just sticks to your teeth.
Usually one that's called the Chilean mesquite, and it's hybrid. It's better for landscaping in many cases because it doesn't have those vines that Michelle was telling us about, if you're going to have it in your yard. And it was put together with the oleander, and I'm not really quite sure what the mix is there, but in any case, it does provide a nice example. But that's one of our goals, is to really be able to move towards having all natives along the path.